When people talk about ARC raiders, you often hear them say things like, every raid is a movie, or they'll say the game is pure cinema. And I don't know if I really get it. I mean, yeah, it looks amazing, it has its fair share of great moments, and well, I guess you could say it's fairly exciting. But it wasn't cinema. At least that's what I used to think. So, after completing the expedition project last season, do not recommend by the way, I ended up finding the blueprint for the snaphook and wanted to give it a try on a vertical map. I still had a lot to farm, so I thought, why not have some fun with it? The only way I can describe what happened next is, well, cinema.
Needless to say, I keep a check. She was a bad, nevertheless. Yeah, calling it quits now, baby, I'm a wreck. Crash at my place, baby, you're a wreck. Ooh, some things you just can't refuse. She wanna ride me like a cruise, and I'm not trying to. Then you're left in the dust, unless I stuck by you. You're the sunflower. I think your love would be too much, or you'll be left in the dust, unless I stuck by you. You're the sunflower. You're the sunflower.
So, as someone who generally doesn't shoot unless I get shot at first, I've been afforded the enjoyable experience of playing in mostly friendly lobbies where I just don't have to worry about other players very often. When I go into a raid, it's usually a simple cycle of roll around the map, search as many containers as possible, and then roll into the nearest extract to take my resources home. Now, it's not always the most exciting way to play, but it's chill, and I like chill. And this raid started basically like all the raids before it. I was rolling around casually, collecting some basic resources, and planned to hit a few decent locations while I waited for Launch Tower to clear out so I could grab whatever leftover scraps might be up there before I headed out. Unfortunately, this raid didn't quite work out like that. God damn it! You see, when you play passively, you run the risk of people mistaking you as prey, and there were predators everywhere. We don't have to do this, buddy. We can both just walk away. All right, buddy. I'm on my way.
Run away! Run away! Run, children! Run for your life! Run away! Run away! Run, children! Ah, here it comes! Say run!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. I'd like to welcome you aboard Flight 4411 with non-stop service to Speranza.
And with that, I had not only found a weird path to success with a tool I had hardly ever used, but I managed to turn an ambush into advantage against a rat that was shooting on sight. Now, all that was left to do was finish the job. But wait. This wasn't me. This wasn't how I wanted to play. If you're a fan of the channel at all, you know I do my best to avoid PvP, at least in this game, and generally I prefer to take a live and let live approach. But here I was, about to kill this guy. Maybe he would do it again given the chance, but maybe they've been ganked and ratted so many times that they're hovering on the brink of losing it. Yeah, there's no way to know. But at the end of the day, I don't get to control other people, I just get to control me. So I did something I normally wouldn't do. I granted them a second chance. I can only hope our encounter might have given him a chance to turn over a new leaf, but would that actually happen? Well, probably not. But I could at least finish this raid out knowing I played it my way. So I Batmaned out of there, and after gaining enough distance, got back to work unloading my pockets full of junk. With things being pretty quiet otherwise, I thought maybe it was time to sneak up to the launch tower to see if anything half decent had been left behind. And right as I was about to go up, I heard the chaotic noise that almost every raider is drawn to. With recent events influencing my approach, I was almost certain I'd be running into the aftermath of some PvP encounter. And what I found was a little surprising. The Raider flare came from a fumbled deadline plant on a bastion, and it wasn't long thereafter that a group of people were picking at the bones. Oh, hey, I got you. Well, that wasn't surprising by itself. This squad of random solos invited me to join their hunt for big bads to break down. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen an entire map wiped completely clean of Ark before, but if you haven't, let me tell you, it's a thing of beauty.
Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. And you started out with nothing, and you're proud that you're a self-made man. And your friend they all come calling, slap you on the back and say, please.
So, it was a little chaotic. There were lots of close calls, and I wasn't really able to grab much since a group this big basically emptied anything we came across before I could even touch it. But even with this playground approach offering no real benefits in terms of materials, this is some of the most fun I've ever had playing Ark Raiders. And as the saying goes, time flies when you're having fun. And with less than 10 minutes left in the raid, it wasn't a huge surprise when the fun finally came to an end.
Bro, this is sick. I don't think I've ever seen so many people in one spot.
After the party was over, the group lingered for a bit to embrace the good vibes, but pretty quickly most of the mob that had formed was headed to the elevator to leave. Hell, I had a mind to join him for a moment. But I still had something to do. Now, what treasures I was expecting to find up there, why I felt it was even worth doing, or why would I take the time to do this with so little time left in the raid, all would have been great questions to ask myself before going up there. But I didn't. So let's just breeze through the bullet points before I unveil how this turned out to be an incredible mistake. I found some loot, made a friend, lost a friend, searched for some more loot, cleaned up the place a little bit, and then took the time to open everything up that most people leave because it isn't worth the time it takes to open. And while there were at least some useful things that I found, there was something very important that I had lost. I'd lost track of time. But as I recovered from the surprise of the 2-minute warning rolling in, I knew as long as I flew as fast as I could, I'd still have time to make it to the exit. So the plan I had was to just run up to the roof and get a gauge for where I was at, hopefully realize quickly that I was on the wrong side of the tower, take an action hero leap over to the correct side, pause for cool guy points, and then quickly make my way down to the main room before taking a shortcut to the bottom. It was a simple plan, sure, but it was certainly good enough to get me out of there in time. But this plan did have one small problem. It didn't account for literally any hurdles I might run into on the way. Dealing with one wasp, not a big deal. 2, well, that's usually still pretty manageable. But 3, and with me missing shots on top of that, that's gonna create an issue.
Go, run. No! 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 Oh, I'm so close.
I still had enough health to crawl to the elevator, but not enough time. An easy 15-second run if I was on my feet, but an impossible crawl with the seconds I had left. And that's it. That's the end. You see, unlike the movies, the hero doesn't always win. The protagonist doesn't always have a happy ending. And sometimes, yeah, the nice guy does finish last. At least that's what I would be saying, if this were truly the end. Oh, hello? Where is this? No way. No way! Oh my god, yes! Pick me up! Yes! Hero! Oh my god, I'm so hurt. I got a bandage. Oh, what are we gonna do? Oh my god. Well, that ended up being like way easier than I was expecting. Oh shit! We're running low on time. We're running low on time. I gotta go. I'm going for the elevator. I'm going. Oh my god, I got like 2 health left. And that is the actual end. I had spent almost half my raid helping to destroy some of the toughest arc in the game, only to be brought down by its smallest enemies at the end. I won a PvP dogfight, only to have the entirety of my raid saved by the exact same person I had previously put down. And when I started this raid, I had been playing a game. And when I left, I had finished a movie. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And if you are interested in helping to film cinematics like the ones you saw here, don't forget to join the Discord to hear about and even help out with upcoming projects before they get released. And most importantly, a huge thank you to my patrons and channel members who make videos like this awesome by keeping me from having to figure out how to cram an ad for a mobile game into the middle of a story. And with that, I believe my job here is done, and until I see you next time, party on. And action. Oh my god. You fucking got air, bro. What? No. There's no way. Like, I don't even think you can shoot through it, can you? Sorry. I'm away. Sorry. Alright, man, give it a go. Okay. So. Okay, you want to...